having delved a little bit into the universe of Warhammer 40,000 with some recent builds, decided that I want to go back and, if you will, bring back some older 40K miniatures I used to have in the form of the Space Marine chapter I made called the Hell Hounds. Now, while heavily derived from the Space Wolves, they were my own chapter. The idea was to make it so they could be painted fairly easily. And none of these figures are still in my inventory. So, to fix that, I have some old Mark IV Space Marines, some of the newer Primaris Intercessors, some Marines in Terminator armor, some modifications that can be used on the Primaris and regular Space Marines, as well as some 3D printed shoulder pads that, while you can't see it in there, actually have an emblem very similar to what I'd envisioned for the Hell Hounds. I'm probably not going to build all of the Intercessors miniatures or the Mark IVs, but either way, it's going to be fun for a bit. All right, as you can see, the batch of Space Marine Hero Terminators is done. These are really well detailed. And the thing that impresses me about them is they were designed, I mean, you can see most of the seams have disappeared. And these were designed to be press fit together. These are not glued in any way, shape, or form. Got your Thunderhammer and Storm Shield. Your standard complement of Power Glove and Storm Bolter. You have your Assault Cannon. I'll probably make him a Sergeant. Decided to do him with... All of these have the option to go like this one did without the helmet. So I decided to do that with him and with our not-so-friendly guy with the lightning claws. The detail that these things are packed with is just incredible. I mean, you can make out the wrinkles in the tubing on the lightning claw, the detail in the Crux Terminatus. I mean, these are not what Games Workshop used to supply in their idea of easy-to-assemble figures. Also decided to add to this run a couple of sets of figures from the Space Marine Adventures board game. I don't play the game. I just like the look of the figs that came with them. They're going to be basically the same idea as those guys were, and should go together just about as fast. And here we have the last of the easy-to-builds. They're all in kind of different colors, mostly to make it easier on people so they don't have to paint them in the board game version. Like the Terminators, they're really well detailed. Seams disappear. I like the fact this guy's getting ready to lob a grenade. Got our captain here. I was impressed with the fact that the seam in his cloak is barely visible, even on a press fit. I hit that with some glue and it'll probably disappear. And then you got this guy loading his gun. These are the only two I decided to go bareheaded on this time. Looks like I probably need to file off the sprue bit on the top of his head there. I like the fact that the missile coming out of the missile launcher here has a plume on it. Well, that's it for the easy stuff. Alright, what I've got going here is the first bit of modification work I've really had to do. This portion of the missile launcher actually had the shoulder pad molded into it, but to use the new shoulder pads, I'm having to grind that out. So eventually, I can get it to work about like that. It's taking a little bit of work, but it's also kind of fun challenge. All right, as you can see, we've got some more lovely plastic here. In 28mm glory, we have a Mark IV Space Marine Sergeant with plasma pistol and lightning claws. The missile launcher that I mentioned in the previous bit. Let me move over here to a heavy bolter and a pair of Space Marines with standard bolt rifles. All of them have been given sidearms, and at this point, they're just about ready for primer. And here we have a batch of chunky new Primaris intercessors. Here we have the Sergeant. I've given him the chain sword from the Games Workshop Space Wolves upgrade pack. The other four are built pretty much exclusively with stuff from the Primaris Intercessors pack, including the guy in the back there slapping a fresh clip into his weapon. All right, next up will be the conversion of the Primaris Captain to the Master of the Hounds. Okay, and mostly stock from the Space Marine Primaris Captain. We've made a few changes, though, to create our Master of the Hounds. The sword blade is actually, well, it's been superglued to the hilt of the power sword he came with, but the standard power sword blade has been removed and replaced with the better part of the Eldar Avatar sword blade from the old metal Eldar Avatar figure. His head is from the Primaris upgrade, the Space Wolf Primaris upgrade pack. His left shoulder depicts actually the Space Wolf crest, honoring the heritage of the Hell Hounds. The backpack is from the standard Space Wolf upgrade pack, along with the doodad up top. Mostly because we're trying to make him stand out as the master of the Hell Hounds. Then, of course, you've got the Hell Hounds emblem on the thing. The masterworked sniper bolter rifle. All in all, the Master of the Hounds is now ready to lead his troops into battle, or into the paint booth at least. Okay, after some considerable consternation, I now have the base coat, primer coat, whatever we want to call it, on the returning Hell Hounds. Now, my consternation, ran into a problem as I was starting with a couple of these. My airbrush is basically dead. I didn't clean it up all that well after finishing the Sisters of Battle, and these guys paid, the first couple of these guys paid for it. The rest of these were all primered by hand. All of them were primered using Vallejo's Dark Panzer Gray, which I figured would be a good start for the Hell Hounds scheme. Next up will be the gray shoulders and boots, and we will get started there soon. Okay, likely the last time these guys will be seen before the finale. As you can see, I've gone in and painted the right shoulder and left boot on all of them. As you can see by his gray helmet, and there's another one over here. Yeah, him. And his gray helmet. They are sergeants. The captain here, who is, I believe, yeah, I think he's wearing his helmet, will actually get, I believe it's a copper helmet if I remember the scheme right. Did the outside of his cloak as well as the outside of the Master of Hounds cloak in the Dark Ghost Gray as well. This is Vallejo's Model Air Dark Ghost Gray. This point, it's detail paint and embleming time. So yeah, this is probably the last time you'll see them before I get done. Okay, I lied. Decided I'm going to share more of the in-progress stuff. This stage, what I've done is I've gone in and dry brushed all the dark gray parts with Citadel's Lead Belcher. This helps me bring out the detail that I'm going to need to paint in later, as well as, you know, bringing out the detail. And it really does enhance the detail. In a lot of cases, they're starting to look more metallic, you know, almost a gunmetal color, but I'll debate toning that down. We'll see. All in all, though, progress is being made. Detail work continues. As you can see, I've gone in and picked out some copper details, mostly in the form of the chest eagles. We're getting there. Of course, on the Captain and the Master of the Hounds, there's a lot more going on. Gonna go in and touch up the black, or the dark gray, and we'll go from there. Okay, at this point, all the detail painting's done, basing's done. The Hell Hounds are done. As you can see, I've masked, what, 21 of these guys? 22? Yeah, 21. Start up here with the Master of the Hounds. Some old Mark IV armors. Some new Primaris armors. I'll get into some detail in a bit, but we've got our Space Marine Adventures figures. And last but not least, some Terminators. As you can see on the left shoulder pad, here are the chapter badges. The ones with the embossed emblems are ones I picked up off Shapeways. They're actually for the lunar wolves, but by not painting the half moon, you get the Hell Hounds. Had fun with these. And I'll put some stills showing some better detail on the particular groups. All in all, I'm very happy with how they turned out, though, especially this guy. It was nice to go back and revisit the old group. As I said, I'll put some stills at the end, and thank you all for watching.